Well, surprise, surprise. Bernie Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez are facing a backlash from locals in New York following this rally for one simple reason. They used public housing as a prop to call for justice, but didn't actually give any of the residents time to plan and actually come to the event. They're angry about it. They said that the rally wasn't for them. But Bernie Sanders made a point to call out their plight. Apparently, at the last minute, Bernie said, "Oh, by the way, you can come." And the people who are leading this group of advocating for public housing said, "That's too soon." You know what, man? It's the same problem I've seen with many on the far left, where they say they're anti-racist, they say they're anti-fascist, and they don't actually support people like me. And what do I mean? Okay, so most of you know I come from a lower income mixed race background. And whenever I try and speak up, guess what happens? I get told by the progressive leftists that I'm the bigot, that my experiences are irrelevant. They tell me what I should know, and it tends to be people like Bernie Sanders. And it's unfortunate that we're here now. But I don't think there's any excuse to, at your rally, say that it's a shame that they don't have access to heat and hot water at this public housing, but have done nothing to make sure those people could actually be at your rally. Well, they're mad about it. We got the story from the New York Times. Backlash against Bernie Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez in Queens. They say, it's Wednesday. There will be a curfew on Halloween in Yonkers for children 16 or younger. I don't, what is the point of that? Is that, okay, thanks for that one. Sure, well, now you know. They report the crowd in Queens on Saturday was large and enthusiastic, packed into a park across the street from the nation's largest public housing project to watch as Representative AOC endorsed Bernie Sanders. In his remarks, Mr. Sanders called for investment in public housing, and Ms. Ocasio-Cortez and the documentary filmmaker Michael Moore echoed his progressive agenda. But in the days since, the rally has sparked an unexpected backlash from some public housing leaders who said the Sanders campaign did little to include in the event the roughly 6,000 residents of Queensbridge houses, the housing project across the street from where the rally was held. The Sanders team pushed back. Mike Koska, a spokesman for the campaign, told The Times that it reached out to the Queensbridge Tenant Association president days before the rally, and that it provided flyers for distribution among the development's mostly Black and Hispanic residents. Still, the reactions further exposed the race and class tensions in this gentrifying slice of Queens. Quote, "These people were coming from near, far, but they weren't from Queensbridge," the Tenant Association president, April Simpson, told a reporter for Patch. "That rally wasn't for us." I'm not surprised by this. It is common. Here's the problem with these identitarian progressives, okay? Look, I can give AOC and Bernie their praise when they do things that are right and that are beneficial, but when they do this, you call them out. I don't care what your tribe is, okay? I rag on Trump substantially more than I rag on Bernie Sanders, for sure. Though I am very critical of Democrats. I'm not blind to that. But here's the thing. These upper class, privileged elites, be it AOC or Bernie, don't even think about what people need to do to come to this rally. Oh, they say they showed up days before. You know what, man? Perhaps you should have gone well before the rally was planned. Talk to them and say, how can we best accommodate you? Because we're going to have a rally across the street from you. Well, guess what? People have jobs. People have meetings. People have kids to take care of. You show up days in advance and say, here, you can come if you can make it. And they're going to say, dude, what? But guess what? The privileged elites who don't have to work, who can take time off, who can hire a sitter for their kids, they're the ones who can come to events like this. Not all of them, but this is what happens when you set up an event like this. Miss Simpson, who did not respond to requests from the Times for comment, told Patch that the Sanders campaign reached out only on Friday, and at the time of the rally conflicted with the Tenants Association meeting. There you go. At the event, Mr. Sanders called it absolutely unacceptable that the largest public housing development in North America, right across the street from us, lacks decent heat and hot water and is in urgent need of repair. Convenient that they didn't give them ample time to schedule a way to actually come to your rally, but they will be used as a prop. Look, I'd be willing to bet Bernie and AOC and more, they set up this event across from public housing on purpose to use them as a prop as they preach to the wealthy donors and the upper class privileged elites who get to come to these rallies. Listen, people in New York don't realize how privileged they are. I swear to God. You know, there are people in Brooklyn who spend $1,000 plus on rent, who work jobs where they get $40,000 to $50,000 a year, where they write blogs about Brad Pitt's junk. These are the people I'm specifically critiquing. And these people are overwhelmingly progressive far left. We know that the progressives, according to the poll, according to the studies, make over $100,000 a year on average, tend to have college degrees. So what do you think this is? Do you think Bernie's rally is the poor people? Nope. It's the privileged elites who think they know better than we do. Ray Normando, who has lived in Queensbridge houses since 1973, said he and his wife attended the event. By his estimation, a few hundred of his neighbors were there, so that's good news. He said the website he runs about Queensbridge featured information about the rally about a week before it occurred. To live in Queensbridge houses and not know about the rally, Mr. Normando said, sounds specious. He added, obviously, if 25,000 people show up, it wasn't kept a secret. Bishop Mitchell Taylor, a community leader, said the people in the park looked like tourists. In the Patcher article, he called the event a pretty white rally. Why is that not surprising to me? This is the exact problem. And it's really frustrating when I have some friends who are very progressive, and it's so frustrating when they keep telling me what I should feel, what I should want, and what I should experience. And then I just stop and say, listen to yourself. You are a white upper-class individual telling me, a high school dropout from the south side of Chicago in a mixed area to a mixed family, that I should be following your lead? I'm sick of it. It is hypocrisy at its finest. And this is exemplified exactly in when I started to sour on Bernie Sanders. When he said on the debate stage that if you're white, you don't know what it's like to be poor, you don't know what it's like to live in a ghetto. Full stop. That is wrong, that is racist, and that is offensive. Now listen, am I going to lead a campaign saying cancel Bernie over it? No, of course not. I actually still supported the guy for a little while after that. I said, hey, pencils heavy racers. But that means something when you see this. Bernie, I understand, for his career has fought for civil rights. But you have to understand that what he does comes from a blind perspective, and I'm not going to look to him to tell me what I should or shouldn't do. If he's going to disparage the 99%, so I use the 99% specifically in reference to when he says white people don't know what it's like to be poor. I assure you, I believe the data shows that most poor people are white. It doesn't mean that, relatively, there are more white people of wealth than other minorities. We get that. But this is the problem when they segment people based on race. They don't actually reach out in an adequate way to make sure that the people who live here would know when and how to attend. Now, of course, it's contentious, right? There are some people saying everyone knew, some saying they didn't. Well, then there you go. Am I supposed to believe that, everybody is not going to know about it? It sounds like they should have gone above and beyond if they're going to use this housing unit as a prop for their political campaign. Bishop Mitchell Taylor, a community leader, said the people in the party looked like tourists. Okay, so I read that. A pretty white rally. Corbin Trent, a spokesman for Miss Ocasio-Cortez's 2020 campaign, said he was proud of the Sanders team outreach effort. I was also very proud to see public housing highlighted in both of their comments and their legislative agendas. The Patch reporter Maya Kaufman wrote on Twitter that the Sanders campaign said it called to schedule a meeting between Mr. Sanders and Queensbridge leaders, but that Miss Simpson said that wasn't true. Who am I going to believe? Listen, I give people the benefit of the doubt, okay? But Bernie Sanders is an older, millionaire individual. He's capitalized off his success. He's become a wealthy individual selling a book, buying extra homes. You're allowed to do that, okay? I'm not saying you're not allowed to do that. So congratulations to Bernie on all your success. But who am I supposed to believe? The poor person seeking help and assistance to improve their community, going to a tenants association meeting to deal with the problems they face, or the wealthy man, the wealthy-ish individual who is traveling around the country to campaign for being the president? Look, based on the logic of the left, you should not believe Bernie Sanders, the old white male of privilege. You should believe the woman of color who lives in public housing, right? I'm just gonna have to say, based on my experience, I want to be fair, right? I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, but I really am. This exemplifies what I find detestable about the left. They put on this act like they care about you. They say that they want to fight for me, they want to fight for the poor, and in the end, it does not seem to be the case. It seems like my experiences, my life, and the life of my friends and where we grew up on the south side of Chicago is used as a backdrop, a prop to convince other wealthy white liberals why they should support this guy, because he pretends to care about me. I do believe that Bernie, in many ways, is much, much more genuine than most politicians. And even though he's had gaffes and he said things I completely disagree with, when he was on the debate stage and Elizabeth Warren refused to answer the question about taxes, Bernie straight up said, taxes will go up. Okay, let's be real. Your costs will go down. I respect that a lot. I don't think Bernie is perfect. I lean towards thinking he's more genuine, but this is one of the events where it shows me you can't just blindly trust the people who claim to be fighting for the poor and the minorities and all that. I just don't believe you. I don't believe you because you do things like this. Now look, pencils heavy racers. Bernie's campaign, hey, we made a mistake, we tried. But I'll tell you what, apparently they're claiming they called, set up a meeting. Well, the residents say that's not true. Who am I going to believe? All right, I'm going to believe the poor person who feels dejected and not allowed to be at or wasn't informed about this event, or that the rally was taking place at the same time as their meeting. I don't think, I'll put it this way. Who's got more to lose? Bernie. He's got to make sure he keeps up this air that we're fighting the good fight and we're taking care of everybody. The people who live there don't have a fight after this. They just point out, these people are using us. I know a lot of Bernie supporters are going to get mad that I said all this, but you know what, man? This is how I feel. Okay, I can be wrong, fine. And if you want to defend the guy, by all means, comment below and defend the guy, right? But that's I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.